Let us start with in module 4. We are already concentrated several issues. Today we are going to discuss about the automotive communication buses. Automotive communication buses are most important in case of automobile industry. Nowadays the automobile industry is that is used so many devices, connections are there because almost all cars are developed at higher top end cars are they are usually prepared this type of microcontroller based devices. These devices are meant for the specific applications. Specific applications means in automobile industries, varieties of exercises are there. For example, you can automatic light on and off, automatic door lock, so many steering lock, speed control, design control, velocity control. So many functions are introduced in automobile industry. So automobile industries they are badly used for this type of microcontroller based and embedded systems. So automotive communication buses are most important. So number one, we are going to discuss about this local interconnect network. Local interconnect, the name itself is indicates this is the internal intelligence network within the system, within the devices, within the organizations. We are connecting, monitoring, and maintaining. That is known as a local intelligent network systems, especially for these automobile industries. This local interconnect network is most important. They are usually prepared. And another important communication media is serial bus communication. Serial bus communication and parallel bus communication types of communication systems. Here is a master and a slave relationship is there. Suppose if you want to connect the number of devices, different types of devices, first initialize the master. Master initiate the other devices, bring into the single connection system or web system. That is known as a master, and slave which follows the whatever the rules and regulations or protocols are there in case of automobile industries. They are follows the rules because several network systems they are adapted to manage the number of automobile devices for various types of control systems are required. Then serial bus communication is most important in that industries. And third point, we are going to discuss about the past become auto industries. So auto industries usually, especially they are dependent on these network systems because they are all the systems they are automated and they are monitor and managing with the help of network systems only. Without network, these top end car development productions as well as communication such as marketing, so many things they are utilizing the networking system. So nowadays it is very important networking systems, especially for microcontroller as well as embedded system. They are prepared because of low cost and high efficient, fast execution speed. These are the major criteria they are preparing this. They are classified the timing masters into three types. Timing masters, first one is the network master. Network master, what it does, it controls all automotive part in automobile industry. For example, speed control. Several networking systems, several devices are cooperate to control the speed of the vehicle. Similarly, door control, light control, so many control systems are there that with the help of network only they are controlled, managing, monitoring, and these are more flexible to manage the automobile industries. Another important thing is connection master. Connection master is most important because number of devices in automobile industry different, total 64 devices we are able to connect in a single server. It is a big task because there is a synchronous between one devices into another devices. Then they are clubbed in a single server, interact with each other. Then that is known as a connection master. Connection master is most important because we have to gather all the different types of devices of different functions. We are bring into the single system, that is known as a connection master. And another important master is power master. Power is most important for to device turn on as well as the turn off. Without power, we cannot control and managing monitoring. For almost wireless communication system, which is depends on the power. Power is the most important criteria. And another important topic we are going to discuss about this types of channels. Channels which is depends on the specific application and specific functions. For example, event orient transmission. Event means which event you are going to transmission, whether it is a serial communication or parallel communication, whether it is asynchronous communication or synchronous communication, whether it is a digital communication or it is a analog communication, depends on type of orientation, event of orient transmission. With type of event, different transmission, different transmission speed. Based on that, we have to classify the types of channels.
Yes.
So is to continue further types of communication channel. Another type is asynchronous channels. You are already classified asynchronous communication channels. It is another most important criteria in the communication system. There is another type of communication channel which is known as synchronous channels. Synchronous channels is most important between one point to the another point or point to point communication. They are prepared the industry people's synchronous communication channels. These are easy to available and more efficient communication channels. So almost all industries they are prepared this type of communication channels. Another important point we are going to discuss about embedded marketing. Marketing is also one of the most important technique, because if the product is there, if market is not there, who will going to purchase? These are all the global problems. But in embedded marketing, one of the standard company in international standard company, number one is Atmel. Atmel Corporation is the world leader to design manufacturing of microcontroller and embedded systems. They are also provide designs, developments and manufacturing as well as the marketing. Another important company, international recognized company is NXP Semiconductor. It is also leader of semiconductor. They are for design development of all embedded as well as microcontroller systems. So these are the most important companies. Those are meant for the specific applications such as microcontroller and embedded systems. These are the worldwide recognized companies. And how to utilize these, another important point we are going to discuss tool and platform providers. Tool and platform providers, ENEA is another software and hardware networking products. They are providing the tools for the purchaser, designer as well as the developer. They are provide the solutions as a software solution as well as the hardware solutions, and they are provide the architecture of these embedded as well as the microcontroller devices. Then another important company is MathsWorks. MathsWorks means Auto SAR, Automotive Open System Architecture. It is also one of the important tools provider. Tools may be software or it may be hardware. They are providing the hardware as well as the software solutions to you to provide the customers. They are provide all the hardware as well as the software facilities. Then only the customers are purchasing the products, embedded systems. That's why these embedded systems and products are more popular in almost all automobile industries, communication industries, and also the process industries. They are prepared this type of embedded system.
Start.
Another important point we are going to discuss about the designing hardware and software for design. Basically, we can classify this design into two types. First one is hardware part design, another one is software part design. Both are different criteria and different entities. So, hardware, what are the requirements of hardware? Components levels, then power systems. What are the hardware components are available? First, we have to design. We have to bring an architecture that is known as a hardware architecture. Afterwards, we are proceeding to the software. Software means it is a code generations. It may be assembly level language or it may be high level language. We can generate the code in any language. So these are the major partitions in design and development of any one engineers. He should be follow these procedures. First one is partitioning. Partitioning means any problem. Any problem, first we are going to divide. The partition means to divide the problem based on the nature of the problem, whether it is a hardware related or it is a software related, whether it is a assembly level language or it is a high level language. Based on that, we have to partitioning the any problems in hardware or software. Based on that, we have to partition it. This is the first step in design. Engineers should follow the procedure. Second one is testing. Testing is most important criteria. It may be hardware testing or it may be software testing. So many nowadays in all the companies they are using several quality control techniques. Based on that, they are point to point checking is there for the entire system testing. Machines are there, automatic testing of software, automatic testing of hardware. So many design development testing devices are generated for testing of bulk level hardware as well as the software. And third point, after the hardware and part is completed, our next process for any problems, code generation. Code may be any language, assembly level or high level. You can use it C language also. So depends on how to design and develop, how to write the coding based on the nature of the problems. You can divide into number of tasks. You can divide it into main problem into sub problems. Problem number 1, 2, 3, 4. You can divide, and afterwards you have to write the programs. That is known as a code generations. Then another important discussing point: design issues. Design issues before manufacturing the things. Design engineers should be estimating the hardware design issues as well as the software design issues. If the design issue is perfect, if the architecture is perfect, they are tested initially. Several demo versions they are taking and tested. The design is perfect. It executing in all the environment. It executes all the complex operations. They are tested one by one based on the methodology they are adapted to designing and testing. So design issue is most important before designing of the hardware, before designing of the algorithm or generation of the codes, whether it is feasible or not, flexible or not, whether it is executable or not. All these criteria are tested in case of design issues. Then another co-design. Co-design means you have to take the one company design into another company. If it is a merges, if the criteria is same, then it is merged. Otherwise, otherwise you cannot merge this type of designs. So that is most helpful for multinational companies. They are adapted the rules and regulations. They are taking the subcontract just like a co-design. They are purchasing their design and they are adapted their own design system if it is feasible. Then similarly concurrent. Concurrent means these hardware and softwares, these are really co-designers as well as sub-designers are most important. If there exists, their synchronization between their main architecture and sub-architecture, they are concurrent and mutually they are developed the product that is more profitable in business point of view. And seventh is integrated between hardware and software. It is a major problem in case of all the hardware and software developing industry, especially for embedded and microcontroller systems. So hardware and software must be cooperate. Your design and software develop code generations, then only there is a integration between the hardware as well as the software. Then you can easy to process, interact with the external world. Otherwise, it is very difficult to merge or club the modules, both hardware as well as the software. Nowadays, if it is clubbed properly, there is a synchronization between hardware and software properly, then you can easy to communicate with the external world. That's why these microcontroller based products and embedded based product are they are preferred in almost all process industries, automobile industries. Co-design is another important, and co-design benefits. Co-design benefits means you can take the design for other. If it is a matches for all the criteria, then you can select that co-design. Then you can adapt it in your product and bring into the standard marketing. And another important point is reusable component. Suppose if the hardware is fails or software is fails, is it possible to reuse in other in future. That is also one of the important criteria in case of hardware and software code designs. And last one is hardware software requirement. Before completion of your project, we must estimate what are the hardware requirements, what are the software requirements. These requirements are present or not. These softwares, the human resources available or not to design and develop all these criteria. So based on all these points, the code, hardware and software code design completes its information, completes its life cycle.